what the dude was saying in the video.
There is a version of femininity that believes any distinction, even when it comes to sex, is something that just has to be completely 100% socialized and changed out of men. And that as long as men start to behave, communicate, think, and act like women, they'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to sex, they'll insist that there is no innate psychological differences between men and women. They'll functionally believe that because they're psychologically the same, we should have the same expectations. This is the issue. There's physiological differences. And the physiological differences some are very minute, but then some are massive, with huge implications. These are some of the differences that I noted. And obviously, naturally, we know that there's differences between men and women: grip strength, speed, upper body strength versus lower body strength. We know this. Like, generally speaking, there's physiological differences, but there's physiological differences when sex occurs and when they have orgasm.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to have a question once I list these off. And the question is this, actually: do men and women experience sex, and are the consequences they experience from said sex the same or different? These are the things that I noted that were different. Men tend to have higher sexual desire and are more accepting of casual, non-commitment based sex. Sex hormone amounts and patterns are different between male and females. The hypothalamus, which is the region of the brain involved in sexual activity, is both larger and more sensitive to testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
Men tend to experience quicker and more intense sexual arousal and orgasms compared to women. Research shows that women's sexual desire has more variables and is influenced by factors like self-esteem, relationships, emotions, and how they feel about their bodies, the relationship and overall emotional state, social consequences of clear communication of their desires in the domains of sex, especially sexually. So think of it this way, because that one could be a little bit confusing. If men were bluntly or straightforwardly honest about how often they think about sex, about the different ways that they think about sex, about the different types of women that they want to experience in terms of thinking about sex, if they were honest about how they felt sexually, are they rewarded for their honesty?
No.
And then lastly,
That was quick.
reproduction evolutionary drives for men or women. You are the product of thousands, if not tens of thousands of years of one side of a person or one set group trying to survive and procreate and mate select in a certain way. And the other group, you're the product of a person people who kept sowing their seed.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is going to be like, well, wait a minute. If there's all of these evolutionary, biological, physiological differences, and men and women clearly don't even experience sex, let alone orgasms in the same way, I don't know. Actually, I do know, but I'm just saying it facetiously. I don't know that in the quest to be like men, that's actually been a net benefit to most women, especially after 40, 50 years of this experiment. That doesn't mean that men are justified to cheat. It seems to suggest that at least their biological hardwiring has designed them to better be able to be okay with doing it.
The ladies on the panel feel like women's expectations of men's behavior sexually might be just a little bit off after his explanation.
I do. I've experienced a lot of women shaming men for their for the libido being so high, for the desire to have sex. I've experienced a lot of women in the church who are still, even though they might be in their 50s, never been married, and being upset because a man wants to have sex with them before they're married. So there's a lot of shame built around men's, sexual functioning.
I don't think anything's wrong with a high sex drive. I just think you have to be disciplined if you're going to be in a relationship or a marriage. That's it.
You don't think that discipline It's contingent upon whether a woman is reluctant or not to give it up when they ask for it.
No, because I think a part of having discipline is you agreed to be in the relationship. So if you don't, if you're dealing with somebody that doesn't want to be touched, why did you agree to get in the relationship? Or like if she's going through a crappy week or she's PMSing, okay, that's not going to kill you. You can wait. Like, I think that people go through things, and just because a man doesn't have like an emotional thing that makes him be like, oh, I'm not in the mood this week, I think that they like to make it seem like it's the worst thing in the world when a woman does that. But it's
It
not,
is.
because
Men don't do
there's
that.
next week. Is there not
It
next
is.
week, Darwin? Because you didn't get some
But
this
what
week.
about
Is
this
there
week?
not next
What
week?
about fellatio?
That's not the
What
problem.
about
The
this
problem
week?
is not about
What
next
about
week or this week.
fellatio? I mean,
Problem-
That's what I'm
about
saying.
that.
Are you
If
willing
you
to
don't wanna have
improvise?
sex, you can have fellatio.
It's
There's
not a
other
problem
ways
no
that-
matter is you
Please
got
take-
next week. The problem is why we can't do it this week.
Okay, so what are you saying are the reasons that, like,
No, what are you saying?
well, I'm asking, what are the reasons that would upset men that y'all feel like aren't good reasons?
Okay, I can give
You
you an
just said a
example.
whole
You don't want
week
me
is
to give you an
supposed to be
example 'cause
cool?
He ain't gonna like it.
Yeah, because, like, okay, I saw a comment say, like, okay, women's vaginas are sensitive, so you can have a yeast infection
You want
from
me to give you an
absolutely anything. That medicine takes a week to work.
Do you want me to give you an
Well,
example?
damn,
Like-
that's another problem.
Do you want
But
me, you want me to give you an example?
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired.
Okay. She was
said,
are we
tired.
supposed to accept? Are we supposed to accept that? Are we
Men,
supposed to
so
accept that?
let's be real, Laisha. I mean, we just gonna
Exactly.
talk about it. You think men are just like, I'm tired, I don't want to do it, or they will wake up in the middle of their sleep to do it? Like, come on, we're not the same.
I do think that.
Men will wake up
Yeah.
and roll over with their eye half closed and do something with you. We women are not doing that. So when we're tired, you're not giving nothing else. You could do something else. We already know what that is.
There's always
are
three
women
options,
doing
buddy.
that?
Always three options.
Take sex off the table, because obviously, man, we riding with that. What is something that you love to do that you ask your man to take you to or do with you, and he could tell? And how long can he tell you, I don't feel like doing it, before you get upset?
Yeah, I'll probably shopping.
Do I have to eat or some shit?
Shopping, because they don't like shopping. So yeah.
Shopping.
And they get tired.
Currently, right now, I know y'all finna get on me for this too, because y'all gonna say I'm spoiled, I'm rotten, I'm this, I'm that, whatever. I don't care. This is how I feel in this moment. Right now I got 2 broke nails, and I broke them yesterday, and I got about 3 more days before I be mad that these 2 nails is broke.
So what if he told you after 3 days, hey, look, not this week, I don't feel like it.
Okay, cool. Okay.
And then next week.
No, you not, yo.
Okay. No, my okay, cool
No, you're
means I'm finna
Okay.
not be feeling
She-
like some stuff too.
So
so you're gonna
hold on, wait.
get back.
So
We just gonna go
Get
sit
back.
back.
hey, Darwin, this is why you got to make it make sense to him. You see how quickly she would get upset over some nails?
2 to 3 days.
And it didn't take 2, it didn't even take a whole week or 2 months or 3 months. It took 2 to 3 days.
You
for
said
her
I
to
didn't
say-
make. You said I didn't make it make sense to him?
Are y'all saying that, like, because this, okay, here's I
That's
guess
how
the
we
part that I'm
feel.
not understanding. Are
feel
y'all
when you
saying
say
after the
not-
1 week it turns into a month, it turns into 2 months?
How did
Or
it-
are
Yeah,
y'all
you'd be
saying y'all
Incredible
don't want to
Hulk
wait
after
1
that
week?
1 week, yeah.
Yes, it can turn
Yes.
into a month or 2 months. There's
Yes.
couples that ain't had
Y'all,
sex in
y'all don't know how
only on
much.
Christmas because of
Dog.
she's not in the mood. There's people that talk about
That woman
all the
hates that
time.
man if they're only having sex on Christmas. She hates him.
It's not always
She hates
that
him.
she hates him. It's not always that.
She has to.
She ain't gotta. She ain't gotta have
She ain't
sex.
gotta.
with him.
You got at home PP that
Just-
you don't have to get dressed up for. You ain't got to take your bonnet off for. You could keep your muumuu on. What? I could get it comfortably in my house, and I don't want to. That mean I don't like him.
The
Ain't no
problem
way.
is the problem is not.
Ain't
that-
no way.
problem is not that you
NY
really-
gets it.
The
NY
problem is
gets
not that you denying him. We can deal with it if and only if you don't have a problem for us making up for it where you lack. That's where the problem becomes. Because if not only we can't make up for where you lack at, and you get to deny us, that's when we kind of we cornered. You get what I'm saying? So it's like we're in a submissive position at that point.
At
So
your
we have to
mercy.
compromise.
Compromised.
Yeah,
That's
we're
what we
pretty
are.
much compromise. For one who, especially the ones who will argue that a man is not even supposed to be monogamous. Those guys are really in a frustrating situation. If you, for some reason, convince them that they should.
I got a question for the men. So if women had the same sexual desire like y'all, so the lady that you're with, would you still cheat on them?
No.
And but that's what makes the
Mark
difference, though.
M. White, he left. Mm-hmm.
So one, I think cheating is wrong. Let me just make sure I put that out there and start with that. I believe in honesty and transparency. But if women body function biologically how men's body function, I wouldn't be in a relationship with them.
Why?
And I say that because this is why it's all right. The way we're wired to seek other sexual encounters, or the way we're turned on, I think that would be too much temptation to realistically expect somebody to maintain the faithfulness that I would want as a man within our relationship. And being in a man's body, I get it. So I would know how much pressure that is on them, and I would think eventually they would cheat at least once, if not more.
If the woman's libido was high?
Not if her, so if her libido was high, no. If her body was set up to function the way men's body is set up. Libido high is fine.
You would automatically think that she would be
predisposed to
cheating.
Yes. If it functioned exactly how men's body function, I would believe women would cheat a lot.
Do you know before the Victorian era, and I don't know how this affects people of color necessarily, but there was some research done that women's libido was really high. They had a diet that was filled with fat and protein and so forth. And what you're speaking of, men not being comfortable with the libido where it was at. So I don't know how they were, obviously the women were performing pretty well at that time. And so that's where salads were introduced to women to kind of subdue the libido. And men were encouraged to continue to be meat eaters. So what it did is started to change how women functioned hormonally, and brought upon that reduction. So what you're speaking on, I can see that to be true, very true.
And I want to make the distinction. So libido and biological function would be different. I could deal with high libido. Biological function, me understanding how again, men and women's biology operates different.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right.
Get it?
So understanding how men's biology is so a woman can have sex, right, and keep busting nuts. She can just keep orgasming.
Mm-hmm.
After the first orgasm, she may want to get closer and closer and closer. Our biology, unless you all the way in love, a lot of times after you have sex, it doesn't necessarily make you want to just cuddle up under the person and just get as close as you can. It kind of makes you feel the opposite way. But if you brought another woman after that, it might become erect again. It's something in our biology that does that. So
your estrogen and testosterone.
Yeah,
because lovemaking brings out the estrogen. And so you guys have to go and retreat in order to regroup the testosterone. So that caused a little bit of separation at that point in time. So it makes sense.
I never knew that.
So that
explains a lot, though. That explains a whole lot.